Hey guys, so this has been a really requested video to kind of do a video on how I get my horses to work on an outline and just like improve on the flat and everything. So it's kind of like not really able to be condensed into just one video, you know, like it's a continuous kind of process. But this is how I just like kind of get started on it and stuff. So to do the video, in the video I'm going to be showing you how I do it on Khal here, because he is only 3 years old. And if he can do it, then anyone can do it. And I didn't think there was much point in kind of like showing you what I do on Welbeck, because honestly you just sit on her and anyone can just like work her in like an outline. She just does it kind of herself now. But with Khal, obviously he is still learning, so it will not be perfect, but this is just the process on how we would get him to, say, Welbeck stage. So he's only been ridden in the arena like not even 10 times. He is quite green, so you're just gonna have to bear with me, and I'll just kind of do a voiceover on how I like talk through what I'm doing and why. Hopefully I know why I'm doing it. Good boy. So you can see Khal is very excited about this, aren't you? He actually hasn't been ridden in like a month. I just kind of brought him in to ride him for this video, so he might also be very fresh, we'll see. He's also quite a lazy youngster, so I use a schooling whip on him, which is the long whip, so I can just like kind of tap him behind the saddle, because for me a little whip that just taps on the shoulder like doesn't make logical sense. Like if you hit a horse on the shoulder when you're standing there, like if I pushed him on the shoulder he'd move away, like just sideways, but if you tapped him on the ass he'd run forwards. So if you just like use the whip on their shoulder, especially young horses, like an older horse would kind of understand, okay, that means go forward, but a young horse, like that doesn't really make sense to them, I don't think anyway. So that's why just a little tap behind the saddle I think makes a lot more sense for them, and they understand it a bit better. So that's why I just use that on him, because before you can do any sort of like messing with their head or anything, they must be going forward. That is the key. If they're not going forward, they're not going to ride nicely, they're not going to work themselves properly, and they're not going to track up and use their back and back end and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna jump right on into the video, and I hope you enjoy it and maybe learn like something. We'll see. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll try to answer them, but disclaimer, like I am not an expert. This is just how I have been taught and how I do it. So if you don't agree, then that's grand, and yeah, you do good. Hey guys, so before I get started, I just want to say that in these clips, Khal is definitely behind the leg and not moving as forward as he should be, but that's because this is actually our second time doing this whole video, because the first time I did it, the camera wasn't recording, so he is quite tired in these clips. He's not fit at all. As I was saying, he hasn't been ridden in a while, so yeah, that's just why. Just imagine what I'm doing here, but with a bit more impulsion, because he's pretty lazy in these videos. So once you've warmed them up, a bit of walk and trot, just nothing too intense, I start teaching them what it means to move away from my leg. So you teach this by leg yielding. A good place to start teaching a leg yield is starting just off the track and then moving them to the track, because horses will usually like to stay by the track. They're kind of gonna veer towards the track anyway. So you've got to use your inside leg to push the horse over to the fence. So you should try and feel their hind legs cross over. So to do that, you might have to bring your inside leg a bit further back to kind of tell them that you want to move their hind end over. Just kind of feel how your horse does it, and make sure that when they do take a few sideways steps that you take the pressure off and give them a pat and show them that that is the correct thing to do. That's what you're asking them to do. Make sure you repeat this on both reins. You know, you don't want a one-sided horse that only goes sideways one way. So teaching a horse to move sideways off your leg is really good for bending, but it's also really good for straightness. So if you feel like your horse is always bent more to the right or something, then you can use your left leg to straighten them out. I just find it's really really handy to teach them this early on, and it's just a really useful tool to have. So then once they kind of know that, I'll get them walking and trotting on a circle. I usually work on the walk until I'm happy with that, and then I'll move into trot, and then when I'm happy with the trot I'll move into canter, and kind of progress it like that, so that you're not, going straight into the canter and when your trot isn't actually like up to standard. So here I'm trotting on the circle, and what you want to do is use your inside leg and inside hand to get them to bend their neck to the inside a little bit. You have to make sure you keep some outside rein and outside leg though, so they don't just, fall out and trot sideways. You just want a little bend in the neck. But if you didn't teach your horse to move away from your inside leg and you just, pulled with your inside rein, they just turn. But keeping your inside leg on means that they'll just bend their neck, so their body should stay straight and just a little bend in their neck. And when they do bend, they will usually soften downwards, and it's when they do this that you need to give your inside rein as a reward. If they work nice and softly and stuff, but you just keep the pressure, then then there's no reward, there's no release of contact or pressure, and they don't realise they're doing something right. So you have to be really, really clear, especially at the start, that they're doing something that you want. Sometimes I see riders doing this and they don't always give when the horse is soft, and that's just normal when you're getting started or whatever. If you might not be able to feel that the horse has gone soft or anything, but you just need to really concentrate and think about how the horse is moving and what feel you're getting. It's just a kind of feel that you do develop over time, but if you start concentrating and thinking about it, you'll develop it a lot quicker. And when you're giving the contact when they go soft, you should only give the inside rein, because if you give both your reins, you're just kind of throwing away the contact. You need, a horse should work on the contact. So you want some outside rein still on, so you're supporting them and they still have soft pressure on their mouth, and they know that. But the inside rein still tells them that they were good and that it's a reward. So I always start in a circle, but once they're going well in the circle, then I'll start going kind of a bigger circle and some straight lines. And once they get more developed, then you can start doing counter bend. So you bend to the inside, and then you might bend to the outside and ask for the same soft contact, and then you might go straight. And when you're going straight, then you need to ask with both your reins. It shouldn't be one rein or the other, and also you should not kind of saw on their mouth. That doesn't work. It's kind of a short-term fix. If you have a horse that's really dead in the mouth and stuff, you can just some people just kind of seesaw on their mouth and they go a bit softer, but it's not a long-term solution. It's not the correct way to do it. You need to get them working through their body and correctly first before you start just tugging on their mouth. So you guys should definitely check out a video on how to leg yield, because I'm not trained in dressage properly or anything, so I don't want to give you how I do it, and that's not actually the correct way to do it or anything. So yeah, definitely go and check out a good video from a dressage trainer or something on the correct cues and everything. I just kind of go with what feels good and it works for me, but obviously I can't really teach that. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you kind of maybe got something out of this, and if you have any questions, leave them down below. But again, I'm no expert, so this is just kind of my take on what I do. And in the video, Khal is very rough around the edges. He's not working correctly all the time or perfectly, but that's kind of the point of this video. I could have just hopped up on Welbeck and showed you me just trotting around and her trotting around really lovely and everything, but that's not realistic. Not every horse is just going to ride like that, so that's why I want to show you Khal. So yes, appreciate that he is only 3 years old and has only been ridden a handful of times, so of course he's not going to be working correctly all the time. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see more of these kind of videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.